Welcome once again to another episode of Stu and Him Productions presents
J&M Solve the World. I'm James.
And I am Matt, and with us is special guest Andrew.
He's our cohort in crime here.
There we go.
Hello. He showed up. We put him on the podcast.
He doesn't have a choice.
No.
So, being it is June and it is Pride Month, I think we ought to talk about something that changed the way that it was a big change for our generation.
Right.
And being, you know, it kind of affected us, but it didn't really. But gays in the military, right. You know, when I joined is when like Don't Ask, Don't Tell was enacted, right. Which meant that if somebody has assumptions, whether you're gay, lesbian, you know, whatever, they can't ask. Therefore, you know, you're not going to discriminate yourself,
right,
or incriminate yourself, if you will. So, I mean, that was a big thing, and then they overturned it, you know, a few years ago. But the perspective we're going for tonight, I served two different branches at two different time periods, and then we've got the civilian aspect of it. My point of the whole thing, regardless of when it was or whatever, if you can do your job, the job you chose to do in the military, if you can do it to the standard or above, I didn't care what your sexual orientation was.
Right. You know, that's kind of like, and I like to say I'm never married to my ideas because ideas change.
Right.
It's like when they first started talking about gay marriage and everything. I didn't like it. I'm like, well, what? Why should they have the same rights as a heterosexual married couple? You know, that was my initial thought on it. You know.
Right.
But you know, the more I think about it, the more I thought about it, the more I heard. It's like, well, those people have a right to be happy too. If they want to be married, so be it. Because it don't affect me. And kind of the way, like you said, in the military, if you can do your job, I mean, I'd rather have a gay man who's going to be by my side and fight to the death with me than a straight man who's going to run.
Right. And, you know, and there's the misconception, the stereotype that every gay male is feminine and, you know, they're, if you will, and every lesbian woman is the truck driver, you know, I'm more right. Man than you are.
Right.
But, I mean, that's not true.
No. This other podcast I listened to quite a bit, he had a guy on here a few months ago, and he dubs himself the world's strongest gay. And he's a world's strongest man guy. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't want to fight him.
No. And I think a lot of it, you know, talking from the guy's perspective, you know, the first time being in a shower in high school after gym class or when you played sports or whatnot, and the coach was like, everybody's going to shower. And it's like, oh man, I'm going to be naked in front of another dude. This is, you know. And then when I went to boot camp, you didn't have a choice.
Right.
But going through boot camp, it was such a quick thing that, you know, I mean, the big thing was all they want is to see assholes and belly buttons.
Right.
I mean, you're that close, and you're walking in it, and you're doing a big round tree. Mm-hmm. You may get to shower properly, you may not, but
because you only had just a certain little amount of time to get it done.
Yeah, you know, and that's the last thing you want to do is to look down and see it. Hey, what's that guy packing there? Or hey, what's this guy's butt look like? You know, whatever. Right. You didn't have time.
Right.
And then when it came down to it, training, granted, you know, when I was in the Marine Corps, I never saw combat, but you always trained for it. And it was always like, oh man, you know, thinking whether somebody is going to, you know, you're in a fighting position together, and it's like, oh man, is he going to come on to me, or, you know, whatever. And it's like, just fucking stop.
Right.
Because not every gay man is attracted to every man.
No.
Just like not every gay woman is attached to a straight woman. It's just not.
Bobcat Goldthwait had a deal about that years ago, and he said, yeah, he's like, some guys like go, well, I hate gays. It's like, really? He said, I don't think that gay men are going to be attracted to a welder from Glendale.
Right? I mean, you know, there are some, but it's the same as love doesn't know sex.
Right.
When you fall in love with somebody, you're in love with them. You know, I hate to quote a certain sparkly vampire movie, but when, you know, one of the shapeshifters, when they imprint on a person, they're with that person for life.
Okay.
And I mean that they don't want any other person. They, you know, that's the way it is. They're with that person for life. And when you truly love a person, it doesn't matter what sex they are or what sex you are.
Yeah.
Love is love. But at the same time, just because, like, I've told you, I've got brothers that I served with, Wayne, Dwight, you know, my buddy Travis.
Shout out, Dwight.
What's up, bro? You know, I love them.
Right.
But it's a brotherly love. It's not like, oh man, I so want to bend you over. It's just no. That's not the way it is. I mean,
right.
But as the saying goes, because we've all heard the saying, blood is thicker than water, right?
Right.
But the actual proverb is blood of the covenant is thicker than water of the womb.
Right.
So if a person is, they will bleed for you. You know, I know family members that wouldn't bleed for another family member.
No kidding. Yeah.
But I mean, and that's just the thing, is name doesn't make you family.
Right. Yeah, that's I don't know. And government's tried to make rules and everything, but, you know, just let people be who they are. And, you know, of course, I'm not gay. You're not gay. Andy's not, I don't think you're not gay. Are you?
No, not even close.
I'm just teasing you. She did the laugh track. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, now I know if you want to, we was going to have another special guest here tonight, but he opted out because of some security clearances and everything. So that's cool. But I can't really speak for him, but I'm assuming when my dad was in World War II, that if you came out as gay, that would not have been a good thing.
Right. Well, and I mean, you know, you got to look at the time frame as well. You know, homosexuality was not, I mean, even in circles today, it's still not accepted. But
even though it's been around since the beginning of time.
Right. You know, because, and that's the thing, is during World War II, the men went off to fight in the war, and the women went to work. Right. And then when the men came back, the women went back into the home and the men went to work.
Right.
And I mean, that's just the way it was. Vietnam, you know, there's people that went into the bush that never came back from the bush.
Right.
And it never got, you know, said whether somebody died of friendly fire or no, it was just, they are, you know, they were killed in action, and
right.
and they left it at that.
Right. For whatever reason, that whatever happened.
Right. And then, you know, today, serving in Iraq and Afghanistan both, it's just it was not a thing. That's the last thing that I am worried about is, somebody trying to come onto me or, whatever, because no, when you in the global war on terrorism, during all of that, you're there to watch over your brother. You're there to watch over your sister. Now, the units that I was in, we were not really a mixed unit as far as men and women go. I was in an infantry unit, and at the time, there were no females in the infantry unit. They were attached, but they belonged to a different unit. So never had to worry about that. And it's, again, it goes back to the whole, if you can do your job properly without, without needing help or anything like that, I don't care.
Right.
But I seen several people, men and women, that were put up on top of a truck behind a 50 cal that could not carry that 50 caliber,
Right.
could not charge that 50 caliber rifle. So it's like, what the hell are you fucking doing?
Right. Well, going back to my dad, he fought in Germany in World War II. And whenever they first started talking about allowing women into combat, he was totally against it. And for the reason being was he thought, of course, the generation he grew up in, if a woman went down, you're going to help her. Well, in the Battle of the Bulge, if your buddy went down, you kept going. That's what the medics were coming behind and everything, was to take care of the wounded and stuff. You didn't stop to help your buddy because he was going to get killed too.
Right.
And he thought that men would be more apt to stop to help a woman than they would their friend.
Well, and I mean, that thinking went on even when I was in the Marine Corps.
Right.
Because to be honest, the Marine Corps was the last ones that, like, they allowed, the time frame, I'm just completely screwed up, but it happened while I was still in the Army. Mm-hmm. But they allowed 40 women to go through the School of Infantry. Mm-hmm. 3 of them graduated. Only 3 out of 40. 3 of them actually made it all the way through to the standard.
Right.
And then when they finished, they were like, "Hey, congratulations, great job. Now you got to go back to school to do the job that you're actually going to do." Because the Marine Corps was under that understanding that if you're in a fighting position with a woman, you as a man is going to protect, because it's that basic caveman, animalistic, whatever you want to call it, chauvinist. I don't care.
Right.
But I mean, that's the way it is for a person, in my experience. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I mean, that's, are you more apt to, in a bar fight, if a woman gets knocked down, you're going to, go check on her. If your buddy gets his head knocked in, it's like, well, you shouldn't have been mouthing that dude. Or if it turns into a big deal, you're going to help in there and you jump in and help him out. But, yeah, any proper male should want to help a woman in a dangerous situation.
Right.
But you got to realize, if it's in a combat situation, you all have a job to do, and you got to do it. And I think I know of one girl in particular. She was in combat, and she was a badass. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've met them.
Yeah.
I've met women that were badasses. I've met...
Probably save your ass.
I've met lesbians that were badasses. I've met lesbians that weren't. I've met gay men that were complete and utter fucking badasses. Right. And ones that were like, how the fuck did you make it out of basic training?
Right.
And it wasn't because they were weak.
But you met straight white or straight men that were the same way.
Oh, fuck yeah. I had a kid that I wanted to go where he went to basic training and fucking slapped the shit out of his fucking drill sergeants, because there is no fucking way in hell he should have made it out of basic training.
Right.
This kid was a fucking rock eater. And those of you that know me, when I say a rock eater, you know who the fuck I'm talking about. fucking bulldog. This kid should have never made it out of fucking basic training because he was a fucking rock eater. Yes, Andrew.
What's a rock eater?
I mean, that's self-explanatory. Somebody that eats rocks. Somebody that is so stupid, so dense that they think rocks are protein. I gotta eat the rocks.
Oh, well, okay. I didn't know that.
Kind of like a window licker.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
window licker, rock eater.
Well,
This kid looked like a fucking bulldog. Like straight up, lower jaw out. No.
shit, I knew.
I got this shot. But anyways, I digress. We're getting off topic here. But yeah, I mean, I've met people that whether they're gay or they're straight, it doesn't matter. If they can do the job, fucking great. Right. I don't care what your sexual orientation is.
Who cares what you do behind closed doors?
Yeah, I mean,
or
you know,
out in public, just don't do it in front of me if you're, you know.
But I mean, again, it's that goes along with the public display of affection. You know, the PDA.
Right.
I'm not saying I necessarily want to watch two gay men or two gay women sit there and kiss and everything, but at the same time, I don't want to sit there and watch a guy and a woman kiss and make out in public. No.
Right.
No. Oh, you guys want to hold hands? Great. Cool.
Yeah.
You want to hug? You want to walk shoulder to shoulder, arm in arm? That's awesome.
Okie dokie. Go right ahead.
But, you know, you start making out? Nah, bro. Nah, sis. No, let's not do that.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, you know, would you leave here? We're both heterosexual men, but we hug each other because we're brothers. You know, that's
funny you should say that. Today, when I gave you that guitar, you had just got out of the shower. You were in shorts, no shirt on, and gave me a big old hug.
Naked underwear. Yep.
Gave me a big old hug, and you know, but I mean, it's.
He gave me a guitar. I mean, shit. Hang on, I'm gonna get it off the wall here.
There you go.
Hold on. What's this? Would you look at that?
Isn't she pretty? You know, I got him a guitar and he took me to Chili's.
Delectable goodness.
Hey.
Can you believe it?
Chili's chips and salsa fucking rock.
I asked him about Odie, and he's like, nothing. I'm like, I'll at least take you to freaking dinner.
You know.
He wined me, he dined me. There won't be any 69 in though.
No.
If there is, I don't want to know about it.
I wined him. He had 6 Dr. Peppers.
Or 4. 4, 5, 6, 7. 22.
I gotta go pee.
Yeah.
I think he said he had to go pee. But you know, in light of, you know, Pride Month, you know, I commend, I congratulate, I applaud. You know, it's wrong, and without getting political, what just happened, what could possibly happen in the near future, I think it's fucking wrong. But it's a human rights thing, right. And I'm not gonna say, you know, there was a big stink about the whole Black Lives Matter. Well, you know, all lives matter, but let's look at the facts as far as that goes.
Yeah.
Blacks have been persecuted for a long fucking time because of the color of their skin.
Right.
Gays have been persecuted for a long fucking time because of their sexual orientation. Mm-hmm. But, you know, on the flip side to that, I have never known white privilege.
No.
You know, nobody that I know has ever known white privilege.
No, the white privilege I've known is you get up and you go to work and you work for everything you have.
Yeah.
That's my white privilege. You know, I haven't got a job because I'm white. I've got a job because I do body work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, every job I've gotten since I got out of the military, both times, well, not necessarily out of the Marine Corps, but since I got out of the Army, it was all on my resume. And you don't put sexual orientation, you don't put race on your resume.
Right.
So, but, you know, I will say this, you know, our country has done a great disservice to people with different sexual orientations than me,
Right.
people that look different than me, and it's fucking terrible.
Honestly, if we go back far enough, this country done a great disservice to my ancestors, the Irish.
Yeah.
You know, not so much the Scots, which I am, you know, that's my surname, it's Scottish, so.
Yeah.
But also Irish, and back in the day, the Irish were just barely above being slaves.
Yeah.
Before the Civil War, and a lot of Irish joined the South because of that. But then as it went along, more of them joined the North, and apparently at the surrender, Lee told Grant, he said, the only reason that you won is because you had more Irish. Because they were some fierce fighting some bitches, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's been discrimination from day one, you know, whether you're, you know, it's kind of like the gangs now. Well, if you live on 94th Street or you live on 98th Street, well, we got to hate you because you live on that. You know,
Yeah.
It's like, in the big division in politics, I'm like, Jesus Christ, we're all freaking Americans. Can't we figure that out?
See now that brings me to a point, and I heard this, and I actually did research on it because of what's going on with the political climate right now. You know, and then them saying that something isn't in the Constitution. Well, you know, the funny thing is there's no political parties in the Constitution either.
It's true. They were Whigs and Tories back when they wrote you know, after the Constitution was written and everything. Those were the two parties.
And you know, it's common sense.
Yeah.
You know,
I've always said you could take 50 Republicans and 50 Democrats and put them in a room without a label on them and say, we've got this issue, this issue, this issue, we need to figure it out. And those 100 people could probably figure it out. But as soon as you put a label on them, that they're Republican, conservative, Democrat, liberal, whatever label you want to put on them, now they can't talk because, well, whatever your idea, that's a pretty good idea, but I can't agree with you because you're this or you're that.
right.
And that's where we're at with our government, and that the people in the middle need to figure the shit out, because it's not every Republican.
No.
It's not every Democrat.
No.
It's the far left and the far right, those few that are making the biggest noise and that's fucking it up for everybody else.
Who see things in black and white, and
Right.
there is no gray.
Right.
You know, there's the proverb that goes, "Do unto others as you would have others do unto you." Right. It doesn't say, "Do unto the same as you would have them do unto," or
Here, you can have your freedom as long as you agree with my idea.
right.
You know, that's.
No.
And we're the three of us here, we're kind of in a mixed group as far as our political views are, but we could sit down and have this conversation.
Yeah, because we're not
like freaking adults.
Mm-hmm.
you know. You're one of
course,
those.
I don't have all these big companies backing me, telling me what to say. You don't have these big companies backing you, telling you what to say. And you don't have all these companies backing you, paying you millions of dollars, telling you what to say, do you? Oh.
Oh, I see how it is.
But I mean, you know, it again to get back to the main point. You know, like I've stated, and I completely mean it 100%. I don't care what your sexual orientation is. I don't care what you identify it is.
Right.
You know, what you identify as. If you can do the job to the standard that was put forth before you,
Right.
then I don't care.
Yeah. If you just got the job because you're gay or a minority, then there's a problem there. But
Yes.
if you can do the job, I don't care. And
No.
I don't care to call you friend if you're gay or lesbian or, I mean, Ed had to go to insurance school years ago, and she roomed with a girl up in St. Louis who was a lesbian.
Mhm.
She was the coolest chick you ever wanted to meet. You know, and we became friends on Facebook and all that good stuff. But I don't understand. I mean, we don't pry into heterosexuals' lives, what they do behind closed doors. So why should we do that with gays and lesbians and whatever?
Right.
You know.
You know,
Of course, some states want to like tell you what you can do behind closed doors. It'd be amazing if you go down and read the rules for the laws from every state on what you can and can't do, even in the privacy of your own bedroom.
you know,
It's pretty freaking amazing the laws that are still on the books.
I
Make
do
you want to leave.
I've broke a lot of them.
every morning. I do a morning snap, and I do a morning TikTok,
Right.
and it's always with useless information and weird state laws.
Right.
And some of the laws, like, I forget which state it is, but Kentucky. In Kentucky, a Kentucky resident must shower at least once a year. That's
That'd be a good idea, at least.
but the thing is that's a law.
Yeah.
Once a day.
In Kansas, it is illegal to hunt whale.
Really?
Yeah, I know that oceanfront property outside of Wichita was a prime
knew?
whaling
I know,
industry.
right? But I mean, it just goes to show how stupid some people are. But oh, wait a second. Hang on. Wait a second.
Sorry, my bad.
Nope. You're good.
Exactly.
I've got a sound for that. So, shit. I got to go back into this.
We kind of
Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait
Whose
for it. Wait for
phone
it.
was that? All right.
Probably
So
mine. Sorry, my bad.
you tell us what you think down in the comments below. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you don't like. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs down. Give us a fuck you.
I might be like Joe Rogan and not even read the comments. So
He won't, but I will. So until next time, I am Matt,
I am James.
and this has been.
J&M solve the world.
And until next time.